Making Moves Monday. And the scripture is always good, so here's one for you. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son makes a glad father, but the foolish son is the grief of his mother. Treasures of wickedness profits nothing, but the righteousness delivers from death. The Lord will not allow the righteous soul to famish, but he casts away the desires of the wicked. He who has a slack hand becomes poor, but the hand of the diligent makes it rich. He who gathers in the summer is a wise son. He who sleeps in the harvest is a son who causes shame. This is Proverbs chapter 10, verses 1 to 5. And my topic on tonight is, what can you do with $100? Okay, before I get into the topic, I need you to like, share, make a comment, leave a comment, and then also, depending on where you're actually watching this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And then also too, go ahead and stop and shop at my online store. But enough of all of that, let's get into it. Okay, so a lot of businesses start planning ahead of time for the up and coming year. And next year we'll be in 2026. And so you should start acting like the businesses act out there in the world, where they start planning ahead of time for the following year. Now, typically, they may start planning sometime in October and figuring things out and trying to figure out how to close out the year, but they start figuring out, hey, how are we going to make plans for the following year? What are we going to need to do? What kind of goals are we going to actually try to accomplish? And they start kind of working on those things before the year actually gets there, and not waiting to the last minute or waiting till the year actually starts. So as far as the $100, these are some things that you can actually do. I think first and foremost, a lot of people who have debt issues or debt problems, $100 is something that you can actually use the debt snowball to actually bring down possibly your credit cards or whatever debts you may have. And what you would do is you'll put $100 towards whatever debt you have. Most people may start off with the lowest price debt they have, just so that they can start feeling that, oh, I paid this off, I don't have to pay this anymore, that's all settled. So you can start with whatever balance you have that is the lowest, and you'll pay 100 to it, plus what you're paying minimal. So whatever it is you're paying minimal, you'll pay 100 to that, and then after you pay that, you will actually bring the balance down even lower and quicker, and the interest won't really affect you that much. And then as soon as you pay that off, you'll move on to actually paying another bill that you actually have for another credit card. So then you'll take the $100 and the minimum, whatever you were paying minimum on the other credit card or on the other whatever thing you had in debt, and you'll put that towards another bill. So let's just say if you're putting down a minimum of 40, you'll take the 140 that you used to pay and you'll put it towards your next bill, and you just keep on going until you actually pay off all your bills and you're all set. So this is definitely something that a lot of people can actually do for the up and coming year, and this would definitely help a lot of people out, because a lot of people are in debt. Then also too, another good thing that you can possibly do with $100 is start putting it towards a business that you may actually think about doing or starting up. It's going to cost you some money to actually open and do a business. And what I mean by that, if you're doing a real business is what I would call it. A lot of people start businesses where they're selling things, but they don't have a NIN. So basically, if you don't have that and you're not paying anything to the state or the government, then you basically don't have an actual business. You may have a side hustle, but it's not business. Once you have an actual business, you can actually use it for tax deductions. So use that $100 to start paying for some of the things you're going to have to pay to the government, so that you can actually have a TIN number and you can be a legit company. Another thing you can definitely do is to actually own a high yield savings account. Now, a lot of people use the high yield savings account rather than the original traditional bank savings account, is because the high yield savings account give you more interest on your actual money. Now, if you're putting away $100, it's not going to be a whole lot that they're going to give you, but if you continue to do it over a course of time, you'll start to see greater returns on your interest. So basically, if you start in October and you continue to put in throughout the whole year, as you continue to put in, your interest is going to go up because you have so much money actually in there. Now, I would definitely recommend that you possibly do this for 5 years. And then there's a way that you can continue to put the money in and continue to look at the interest as it actually grows. And then even too, if your money starts getting better, you can actually, instead of putting $100, maybe for the second year you can put in $200. And then for the third year you can put in $300. And then for the fourth year you can put in $400. And then if you continue to ball, you can put in $500 each and every month. So this will be a good way to actually save money and to have interest grow in your favor, and then you can go out after 5 years and actually do something with this actual money. But even if you can't do that in terms of going up each year by 500 or so, you can always just continue to put in $100, and it will continue to save the money actually for you. Now, another thing that people can actually do too, that kind of goes kind of similar to that, is actually having a CD. Now, depending on what type of CD you get, you can do it for maybe 3 months to 6 months to 9 months to possibly a year to 2 months. Now, if you're doing only $100, let's say you do that each and every month, you open up another CD and you just put in $100. This will be a good thing to do in terms of having money for the following year. Let's say if you keep it in there for a year, you may not gain a whole lot of interest, but a lot of times they say a lot of people don't even have $100, to actually save each and every month. So if you did this and you let your money sit there until the following year, then you will have $100 to go towards whatever it is you may have going on for that particular month. So let's say if you did it in next month in October, next year when October comes around, you got money to go shopping for Halloween or whatever you may have going on in October. And then the same for Thanksgiving. When you know you're going to spend some money for Thanksgiving, you'll have $100 there. And then the same goes for Christmas. You'll have an extra $100 there that you can actually use. Now, a good thing too to do with this is to do the adding on, the following year, maybe you do 200. And then you keep on doing that, and you'll see that these CDs will definitely grow in the terms of the interest that you're actually getting back. And then too, also, if you did, let's say you didn't open a CD and you did you did open a CD and you didn't have a high yield savings account, you can use that money in the following year to put into a high yield savings account, and each month as the money comes up, you can start adding money into your high yield savings account, and you'll have a good amount that you can actually save up on that. Now, something else that a lot of people talk about all the time is investing. And there's two different ways that you can go about actually investing. Well, there's several ways that you can go about investing. But in terms of putting away $100 to investments, you can go ahead and actually put away $100. So let's say you start in next month in October, you put away $100, and then you can look at the stock market, see some things that you may want to buy, and then you can actually start using that money and investing in different stocks that you actually like. Now, the only problem with investing in stocks is sometimes the stocks that you actually like or the ones you actually want are not the price that you can actually pay at the certain time. Or if you only put in $100, you may not be able to buy a lot of the stocks that people are telling you are actually good stocks. So this is why putting in $100 each and every month, then you can actually start to get to having enough money to start paying for the actual stocks that you actually want and the ones that you feel is going to actually help you out in the long run. So if you did this for a whole year, then you will have a whole lot of money to actually start investing. So even if you start investing the following year, just because you just want to make sure you stacked up enough money before you got started, this would definitely be a good idea to actually do. And this will definitely help you out in terms of having money to actually invest. Because oftentimes it's not that a lot of people don't want to invest, they just don't have the money. Now, too, another thing that is definitely optional with some stocks is they have a lot of companies out there where you can put down a percentage. So then they'll take the money that you do have and they'll probably put it in an ETF, and then this way you will be able to actually make some money off the stocks before you have enough money to go out and buy a whole stock on its own. So you can definitely use ETFs, and there's a lot of companies out there that specialize in helping people pay and buy ETFs so that they can get some money off of the little money that they have for the meantime. Now, another thing that a lot of people don't actually look at, and a lot of us should look at, is getting a universal life insurance policy or a whole life universal life policy. So when you actually do something like this and you actually go out and get one of these, this definitely helps you out. It's beneficial for you, number one, because it's life insurance. So in case you pass away or you die, then this is money that can go to your family or your loved ones, whoever you want to actually leave it to. But the good thing about the whole life universal is that you can actually use that money while you're actually living. So you put that money, let's say you get one where you're going to put $100 into that, then they go out and they actually invest that money. And if you lose, like let's say the stock market isn't going so good, then you don't actually lose out on anything. But if it is doing good, then you actually get more money based on the market actually doing good. Now, another great thing about doing this too is that you can always take that money out. Let's say, hey, you need some of the money. Let's just say after you have been doing this for a while, you have a lot of money in there. Let's just say you get up to having maybe $10,000 in there that you can take out and use for whatever you want to use it on. Even if you take the whole thing out and you use it and you never actually pay it back to them, which once you pay it back, the money goes back to you, then once you die or if you eventually pass away, they will just take that money out from what you actually owe them. So you can basically use that money and not actually have to pay it back. But it's important that you do pay it back so that you can use the money again. But these are a few ways that you can use $100. Alright, now I know some of y'all are going to say, oh man, $100 ain't nothing. I know everybody online is balling and they got a whole lot of money in their pocket. And for all of you who do have a whole lot of money in your pocket and $100 is real low for you to actually save, go ahead and send me your $100. I'll take it and I'll make some good use to it. But for a lot of you who do can basically use or put in or save up more than $100, go ahead and do so. But it's very important that you actually do start saving. You see a lot of rich people are scrambling around and they're making moves because they know things are going to get tough in the up and coming years. So you should be doing the same thing. Start saving your money. Now, if you can't possibly save up $100 each and every month, or put $100 towards any of these things, or even something else that you may have planned, it's very important that you don't just use that as a cop out. If it's only $25 you can put up for a month to save, then do that. If you can do that, whatever it is you can do, just build on that, but make sure that you actually save. But as always, remember, one move can change your whole life.